Dr. David Klein is with us again, and today we're going to talk about the common upper respiratory tract infections and what else?
Diagnosis.
Go ahead.
All right, what we're going to do, okay, is we're going to watch you come in the office coughing, sneezing, carrying on. You've just lost a few days from work, and you think, okay, that you have some type of bronchitis. You think that you have some type of pneumonia.
Right.
You think that you might have a cold. All very, very different. Treatment for all three is very different. Okay, expectations for the people around you may be very different. So what we do as physicians is we look at people, we look at their circumstance, take a history as best we can without being exposed to the illness to the extent that we can, and then proceed, okay, using the tools at hand. Those tools are diagnostic laboratory things. They might be physical examination. They just simply may be intuition. Okay, a lot of medicine's intuitive. Unfortunately, too much of it is intuitive to individuals that should not be using their intuition. So with upper respiratory tract infections, we look at different types of causal agents. They could be bacterial, okay? There are many different types of bacteria that will cause upper respiratory tract infections or lower respiratory tract infections. Some of them are fairly minor. Some of them are life-threatening. You know, you look at anthrax, you get exposed to those spores, you're dead in a day or so. Okay, there's not much you can do about it. Okay, it's a very, very bad bacterium. Influenza killed more people, a virus. First World War then died in combat. 1 million people died in combat. Almost 60 million died of flu. Okay, so these infections are very, very real. You're far more likely to die of influenza in the United States than in an automobile accident. Okay, that is the fact. That is the way that it goes. So how do you work your way through the diagnosis in order to arrive at an appropriate treatment? So you come in and you go, well, gee, I think I have the flu. So what are you going to do? We're going to start you with a prescription of Tamiflu and send you home? That's done a lot, actually. It's not really the best way to do it. So you come in and you have a sore throat. We swab you down. You're negative for strep. But we're going to start you an antibiotic anyway because those strep tests are not all that accurate because guess what? While the test might be, the practitioner may not have hit the target. Happens a lot. You don't want to get vomited on, so you're very, very careful where you do the swabbing. You want to get the tonsils? Good luck. Try doing that in your kid sometime. In fact, it's hard enough to do it on your kid. Try it on your dog. Try doing a swab on your dog's tonsils without getting bitten. Okay? So very frequently, these tests are wrong. You can end up with issues that are neither viral nor bacterial. They could be allergic, toxic, and so on and so forth. So when you're looking at an individual, you need to look around them. You need to see what the circumstance is. Are there any other people in your household ill? When did they become ill? What about your children? Did they bring something home? What are the comorbid issues? Are you a smoker? Do you have external allergies and so on and so forth? And that's when you sit down and you start going through the medical workup, whether it's a strep test, a mono test, or whether or not you go through some of the more advanced diagnostic testing as we do at stages of life. What do? Genetic testing. Go figure this one out. Not your genes. We don't care about your genes, designer or not. Your genes are not our issue. It happens to be the infectious agents genes that we're interested in. So we do this molecular genetics testing looking at your saliva. We stick a probe up your nose, basically. Not the world's most comfortable thing, but certainly nothing that'll make you gag, okay? And you do a swab, run it through the machine. An hour later or so, okay, you're going to rule out over 20 different organisms.
Wow.
Very, very interesting. Not terribly expensive, okay, but it'll give you the answer immediately. And why do you care about this? Because when you go to the doctor's office, a good physician is not likely to send you home with a prescription just because you showed up. You may think that's how you get your value out of going to the doctor. If I don't get a prescription when I go to the doctor's office, I'm not getting my money's worth. Okay, you're about every bit as hard-headed if you think that as is the doc. No, you're going there for judgment. You are going there for the best option, and it may be, gee, go home, stay warm, drink lots of fluids, because you may have a simple rotavirus. You could end up with a virus causing this. Okay, a rhinovirus will put you down and out, but there's no particularly good medical intervention that you do for a virus like that, but supportive care. Giving you an antibiotic is not doing you a service. Now, you may think it's not doing any harm either, but I would differ with you. Why do you not want to take an antibiotic if you don't have an organism causing your problems? Now, if you think you may have an STD, and you're going to treat that along with it, okay, then you better understand how your pharmacology works. But every time a doctor writes you a prescription for an antibiotic, it shortens your life. Think that one over for a second. Every antibiotic prescription that you ever took will, in fact, and has shortened your life expectation. The statistics are out. It's one of the many reasons why they're now pushing probiotics to try to undo some of the damage. It's going to take decades to find out whether that's going to be effective in this regard. Another thing, okay, is that each one of these prescriptions for antibiotics increases your risk for the development of diabetes. How this works, not so sure, okay, but I want you to imagine this. Okay, you take an antibiotic for a skin infection, all right? Now, if you need it, you take it. If you don't need it, you don't take it. But if you do take it, it hits your entire body. It goes through your gastrointestinal tract. Now, you have in your gut enough bacteria containing enough DNA. It's over 100 times as much DNA in your gut bacteria as in your body itself. Now think about that. These are not monsters inside you. Okay? They are cohabitants. What they are doing for you is symbiotic. That means that they derive benefit from you as you derive benefit from them. They contain some of the corporate memory that you've got with regards to other infectious diseases. You start killing those guys off. It's like shooting your guard. Okay, yeah, that might work for Hillary Clinton, but it doesn't really work too well for you. You need to make sure that you're well protected. And by killing your GI bacteria, you are letting your guard down. And if you think taking $1 a day's worth of probiotics is going to bring it back in a hurry, you'd be sadly mistaken. It may take a year or two to recover from a single antibiotic prescription. And that's if you do all the right stuff.
At your offices, are you seeing an uptick in respiratory problems since the weeks after Irma, with all this brush laying around, with all the problems with septic tank stuff was coming up in yards?
The dead have arisen, okay? These bacteria that sat in the septic systems and in the sewer drains came to the surface. Okay, now you're driving down, okay, 434. You are driving down 528. You are driving down 70 or whatever, wherever you're driving. Okay, the water comes up from the fields, hits the pavement. The truck ahead of you, the car ahead of you, is now aerosolizing this water, and you are breathing it in. Okay, this is a problem.
Whoa.
You are going to and from the school. You're picking your kids up. I want you to imagine, okay, the car in front of you going through a big puddle of water. It splashes all over the place. Marvelous fun. Then look at your kids as they go sloshing through the cesspool. This is a big problem. Okay, there have been outbreaks of rather deadly respiratory issues in the Midwest from these issues back in the 1990s. Microsporidium was the one that killed 100 people. Okay, made 400,000 people ill. Okay, and it had to do with a simple septic crossover. It's a really big problem. You do not want to take this lightly. But keep your windows closed. Don't let your kids slog around in the puddles, because this is a big problem. This is an agricultural state. And oh, by the way, your neighbor has dogs. Okay? They poop on the lawn. All manners of bacteria in there, things that you don't necessarily want. Birds and so on and so forth carry all kinds of illnesses. And then to make matters worse, we have the state bird, the Florida state bird, okay, is the mosquito. Okay, so you are going to end up with mosquito-borne illness as well. So don't let anybody expose you unnecessarily to antibiotics. There are some tricks that you can do and should do before you seek medical attention. One, okay, there's something called colostrum. Colostrum capsules, not the liquid. You take 2 of them 3 times a day if you have a bad respiratory tract infection. If you start feeling better in an hour, you're going to know you're heading in the right direction. Second thing is echinacea golden seal. It helps your immune system kick up a notch. Licorice root extract, marvelous medication. You take it twice a day. It's an antiviral. The last thing is olive leaf extract. But at stages of life, we have all of the above. We recommend that people keep them in their medicine kit just for those occasions. And if you need the diagnostic laboratory work done. We do it on site, and we're only too happy to be there for you.
There you go, just off of I-4 at 434, the Stages of Life. Check it out, suffernomore.com, and check out stagesoflifevitamins.com. And here's more contact information.
The office phone number is 407-679-3337, and our website is stagesoflife.net. We are located in Longwood. Our office hours are Monday through Thursday from 8 to 5, and our health store is open during those office hours. You can find our health store online also at stagesoflife.net, and we are on Facebook. You can find us at Stages of Life Medical Institute. Like us, and you'll get lots of neat information.